Coming down the freeway, Dodger Stadium is the next exit. And here we are for the third and final game of this three-game series. Pirates looking for a series win after a 3-2 win last night over Clayton Kershaw and Los Angeles. Central Division standings, the Cubs and Cardinals still playing each other at this hour. The Pirates 4 back of the division leaders. Hi again, everybody, with John Wehner. I'm Tim Neverett. Robbie Mikowski with us as well. Warm day here in Los Angeles, but a good day to pitch for Southern California native Garrett Cole. The UCLA product has done exceptionally well against teams from his home state, and he had a good start his last time out, too.
Obviously a big game today for Garrett Cole and the Pirates, and you like to have your big game pitcher out there, and that's Garrett Cole. Last time out against the Cubs, you needed a win. He gave you a win. He pitched very well. He struck out 8, didn't walk a batter, and the Pirates win, the only win of the series for the Pirates. The time before that, shuts down the Cardinals, and so you want another performance like that from today from Garrett Cole. You hope the Cubs win, the Bucks win, another good performance from Cole, and you end up 3 games back going into Colorado.
Well, Garrett Cole will face right-hander Mike Bolsinger today for the Dodgers. The Pirates bats coming through in the clutch last night. Andrew McCutchen with a big double. Aramis Ramirez with one as well that drove in the game-winning run. Take a look at the clutch hitting when we continue from Dodger Stadium. Fans enjoying a sunny and warm afternoon in Southern California by the palm trees. Yep, they know. Aramis Ramirez was number 1 last night. This double off the left field wall in the 8th inning scored Gregory Polanco. That was enough to get the Pirates a win.
Some guys just know how to drive in runs. Ramirez facing a guy throwing 97 miles per hour, gets a slider and pounds it. He knows what he's doing with runners in scoring position.
Since August 1st, 16 out of 44 with runners in scoring position, hitting .364, 7 extra base hits, and most importantly, 22 runs batted in. So he has been doing a good job. Hopes to continue that today against the Dodgers in the third and final game of this series. Let's send you back to Pittsburgh now in our Root Sports studios as Garrett Cole gets loosened up. Paul Alexander is there with this game break.
Brought to you by Toyota. Toyota helps you get the most out of your drive. Just ask a friend who drives one. Toyota, let's go places. And by Barrel Automotive, we're driven to be better. Let's go Bucks.
Nice breeze helping out here today on a very, very warm Sunday afternoon in late September at Chavez Ravine, Dodger Stadium. Clint Hurdle, Starling Marte, you're going to get it going. He's been in a bit of a slump lately, but due to break out of that anytime soon. Just a gorgeous scene here at Dodger Stadium as the Pirates and Los Angeles get set to wrap up this three-game series with this rubber game here today. And you can just see how hot it is. Well, Garrett Cole gets the start. Mike Bolsinger has not started against the Pirates before, Rock, and a guy who is not going to throw a fastball at anybody today.
How about that? No fastball. Pretty much a two-pitch guy. The stats suggest he has a cutter, slider, curveball, but the slider, curveball is the same velocity. I think the slider is the curveball. The curveball is the slider, whichever way you want to put it. But the cutter only throws it at 87 miles per hour on average. So not an overpowering guy, a guy that's just going to move the ball around.
The Pirates lineup is presented by Toyota. And leading off for the Bucks this afternoon is Gregory Polanco once again. Starling Marte back to the 2 spot. McCutchen third, Ramirez fourth. A 300 hitter in his long career against the Dodgers. Today is game number 102. He'll be playing against Los Angeles. Walker, then Cervelli, Pedro Alvarez bats 7th, Jordy Mercer 8th, and Garrett Cole will bat ninth and do the pitching, facing right-hander Mike Bolsinger.
18 starts, 6-3, a 3.13 ERA. So despite below average stuff, doing pretty well. A 3.13 ERA and just under 100 innings, almost a strikeout per inning. League hits 243. The home runs 5. He's allowed 5 all to right-handed batters. He has yet to give up a long ball to a lefty.
Well, there's always today.
Yep.
Clint Hurdle excited about what's happening with his ball club right now. Very big win last night. They're all big. Every game is equally as important now down the stretch with 14 remaining. Pirates with 88 wins to go along with 60 losses, but the 88 wins have matched last season's entire win total. Definitely looking at a 90-plus season win total this year. Defensively for the Dodgers behind the plate today, the switch hitting Yasmani Grandal. Dodgers defense presented by Honda. Carl Crawford in left field, Jock Peterson in center. Andre Ethier makes the start in right. Alex Guerrero is the third baseman. Corey Seager the shortstop. Chase Utley out at second base. And Scott Van Slyke, son of former Pirate Andy Van Slyke, is at first base today. Mike Bolsinger was sent down when he was 5-3 with the Dodgers. Sent down to AAA after they acquired Matt Latos recently. Latos was designated for assignment, so Bolsinger back in the same spot he was before. As Don Mattingly will watch on today, Rick Honeycutt, his pitching coach, next to him. We're just about set to get underway at Dodger Stadium. 256 the average for Gregory. Big hit last night in the 8th inning. The opposite field double off of Kershaw. That chased Kershaw from the ball game. And Polanco ended up scoring the game-winning run and ended up hanging the first loss on Kershaw in his last 14 starts. Underway with a strike, 0-1 to Polanco. Well, he pitched very well last night, but Francisco Liriano outpitched him. 0-1. That's up high. 1 ball and 1 strike to Polanco.
You wonder if he regrets lobbying to stay in there and go out for the 8th. Ended up giving up the leadoff double, got yanked.
It looked like he was going to be done after 7, but apparently talked to Skipper into letting him come out. And Polanco made him pay for it. 1-1 is driven to center field. That ball will be caught by Jock Peterson, but hit on the nose by Polanco. 1 out. And the Rivers Casino tips to win today.
Well, you want to get Bolsinger up in the zone. He's going to try to keep the ball down, work the edges, make him get the ball up and drive the ball just like Polanco did. You hope to get some gaps, maybe a homer or two. And then Garrett Cole against lefties. Garrett Cole has done a really good job against left-handed batters pretty much all year long. The last couple starts, the lefties have hit him a little bit better. But overall, Cole is going to see 6 lefties in this lineup, so success against those guys is key.
Marte looks at a pitch low. 1-0 to Starling. 278 the average for the Pirate left fielder. Career high 16 home runs. Bolsinger's 1-0. 1 ball and 1 strike. Bolsinger turned 28 at the end of January from McKinney, Texas. Originally a Diamondback. Popped up foul ground right side. Van Slyke giving chase. He runs out of room. That's a strike to Marte. Ball and 2 strikes. When you face a guy, Rock, that is not going to give you your standard 4-seam fastball, what kind of approach do you take?
Again, look for the ball up in the zone. You want to see some pitches early, especially you want to see the breaking ball. You'll definitely see the cutter. You should at least your first time up. The breaking ball, see what kind of break it has there. Marte gets it. Especially when you're up there with nobody on base, the more pitches you see, I think it's always important, because if you come up in a crucial at bat later in the game, maybe your second or third time up, you'd like to know everything that the guy has to offer in a key situation. so you have no surprises. But the cutter, obviously, it's going to run away from the right-handed batter into the lefty. The more he gets it down, the harder it is to square up.
Ground ball glanced off the side of the line and angled over towards Seager, and Marte is out. Don't know if he had enough on it to get it up the middle, but it doesn't touch the side of the mound. It might go straight toward the bag, but didn't get out of the box either as he slipped getting out of the box. So not a good opportunity to run that one out with a bad start. 2 outs, McCutchen the batter. Andrew takes up high. 97 degrees today at Dodger Stadium.
Man, it is unbelievably warm. As we approach the end of September, it's going to be in the 80s all week in Denver. I think we might even touch 80 in Chicago.
One last grasp at summer. Although it's perennially summer in this part of the world.
Is it today? Today the first day of fall, or is that tomorrow?
I want to say tomorrow.
21st?
21st. Doesn't look like it from that picture.
No. A lot of paper fans.
2 ball, 1 strike pitch. McCutchen adjusting, swinging and missing at the 80-mile-an-hour offering.
And that's the idea. That's where you want to get Bolsinger. You get him a breaking ball that's, up there. It doesn't have as much break. Much easier to hit the hanging breaking ball than the one down around the knees.
Full count. Bolsinger rubbing up the baseball as he works here in the top of the first inning. 6-3 his overall record, 3.13 the ERA. Dodger right-hander set to go, and the payoff pitch. Inside ball 4, and McCutchen is aboard. 2-out walk.
Third baseman number 17.
McCutchen was on base early in the ball game again. He has now reached base safely in 27 of his last 28 games. Ramos Ramirez with a game-winning RBI. Ramirez taking that pitch for a strike.
Apparently a beautiful day in the Berg, 70s according to Mom.
Oh, really?
Who's celebrating a birthday today. Happy birthday, Mom.
Yes, happy birthday.
Maybe one of the biggest Bucko fans out there. Throwing stuff at the TV when things don't go well.
How many TVs has she gone through? She must have broken a few.
I'm
guessing when she watched you play, she probably broke a few too.
Yeah, she wasn't happy with me most nights.
Had her arms folded, staring at the TV. Harumph. 1 ball, 1 strike pitch. Oh, it's 1-2 to Ramirez. Don Mattingly last night elected to walk McCutchen intentionally in front of Ramirez in the 8th inning, and then Ramirez hit the double to win it.
You can't blame him. I mean, you would think more managers would do that. It's kind of amazing to me that Andrew McCutchen gets intentionally walked very rarely. I mean, it just doesn't happen very often. For as dangerous as he's been, especially with runners in scoring position this year, leading the league. And that was just his 11th intentional walk.
That's the 11th one where the catcher stood up with his arm to the side. But how many unintentional intentional walks have there been where they pitched around him?
Plenty of those.
1-2 to Ramirez, 2 down. And he smacks it to left field. Ramirez with the first hit of the ball game. And the Pirates have men at first and second.
Again, the location of the breaking ball up.
Baseman number 18, Neil Walker.
This ball's up about letter high. High, let it fly.
I'd like to see a lot more rips like that down the stretch here. Ramirez at first, McCutchen at second base, and Bolsinger now set to face Neil Walker. Walker, good opportunity for a 2-out RBI. Neil homered in game 1 Friday night. A 419-foot shot to straightaway center field for his 14th of the season. To Walker.
I think it's always tough that first at bat of the game against a guy you've never seen, especially when you got runners on and having no idea. I mean, you might watch video. I'm sure you watched video of him and read the scouting reports, but until you see it, you just don't know what kind of stuff he has.
And Walker strikes out. Field in front of that Bolsinger offering. Pirates leave 2. Garrett Cole coming up. Southern California native. Her brother plays shortstop for the Giants. Brandon Crawford. A good record against California teams for Garrett Cole. 8-2 in 12 career starts. And the lineup that he'll be facing for the Dodgers. Crawford leads off. Chase Utley, then Corey Seager, the rookie. It's his first career start, batting third in the order. Andre Ethier will bat cleanup. Osmani Grandal, Scott Van Slyke, John Peterson, Alex Guerrero batting 8th. But the pitcher Mike Bolsinger will bat 9th against Cole.
Here's your Hyundai numbers for Garrett Cole, looking for his 17th win at 2.60 ERA. You figure 183 strikeouts. Garrett Cole almost a lock to finish with 200 or more. And I'm sure, as he always is when he comes out here to the West Coast, wants to impress and wants to dominate.
First pitch from Cole misses inside low to Carl Crawford. 1-0 pitch. Crawford fouls it off. 1 ball and 1 strike. This is Crawford's first appearance in this series, although he was in the on-deck circle last night when the ball game came to an end. One and 1 to Crawford. And he ropes it to right field. On the run is Polanco, and he won't get it. It's off the bullpen door, and Crawford's going to run. He's around second, heading for third, and he will stop there with a leadoff triple. Polanco made a great catch last night out in that area, but tonight the ball carried, or today rather, the ball carried too far on it.
Yeah, this was, I was talking about this last night when he made the great catch. It was pretty close to the same place. The ball probably more towards the line. And actually lucky that that ball bounces back towards second base. If that ball bounces towards right center field, Crawford could have jogged around the bases. Nobody backing up Polanco over there. And luckily he wasn't going hard down the line. Who knows how far he could have gone if he went hard out of the batter's box. Obviously, it's an easy triple for Carl Crawford.
His second triple of the season, and the first pitch to Chase Utley's high and away. So Crawford, his 122nd career triple, is at third base with nobody out.
How many did you say?
122.
Wow. Wow. That's a lot of triples.
He's been around a little while.
Still, these days, the smaller ballparks, it's hard to collect triples.
Came into this season as the active leader in triples with 120. Next is Jose Reyes on the list. Then his teammate Jimmy Rollins, 111 coming into the season. Rollins now with 113. He has 2 this year also. 2-ball, 1-strike count to Chase Utley. Two UCLA Bruins facing one another here. Cole and Utley. Utley out of Pasadena originally. And Cole from Orange County. Two and 2 to Utley. 3 and 2.
Big pitch here, forthcoming, a 3-2 count. Chase Utley, the veteran, he's just going to try to hit the ball on the ground. If he gets a pitch in the zone, he's just going to try to stay on top, infield back, get this first run home. Garrett Cole, he's looking for a strikeout.
Got it right there. Strikeout number 1. First victim is Chase Utley to Garrett Cole.
And pretty much the same pitch as the 2-2 pitch. It's just a different count. Utley probably more of a protection mode, trying to see the ball a little bit longer with a 2-2 count, and was able to recognize the spin. Then you get the 3-2. You see the same pitch. You swing. Why? I think the guessing comes in maybe that, okay, I got a 3-2 count. He's not going to throw another pitch out of the zone. He's going to come at me with a fastball. I got to gear it up and get going.
Infield is in for Corey Seager. Seager has gotten out of the gates very well. 21 for 54 since his call-up. 1 ball and 1 strike.
This is a defensive alignment you don't see very often. Used to see it, I think, more in the past, to where, on the pull side, you play back, don't let a ball get through. The opposite way, you bring it in.
1-1 to Seager. Pitch just missed. Like Cervelli trying to frame that back over the plate. Let's get a look from this angle.
Boy, that's right there.
Oh, that's a strike. Yeah.
Again, umpire sitting over the inside corner cannot miss that pitch. That's a pitch you're looking directly at.
Andy Fletcher calling the balls and strikes today.
Again, you excuse them from time to time missing pitches away because it's on the other side. They're always lined up over the inside corner. Those are the pitches you expect them to make or called correctly.
You got to think Cole looking for another strikeout here.
Yep, no question. As the curveball action. More of a straight down break to that one.
Two ball, two strike pitch. Cervelli setting up outside. Got the strikeout.
Overpowering.
So Seager down on strikes, 2 away. Infield can move back. 98-mile-an-hour fastball to Seager.
Challenged.
Right down the middle.
Look at that. You don't think he's a little pumped up. You don't normally see the 98 from Garrett Cole until the middle or later innings. Early in this ball game, knowing the importance of scoring first or not allowing the opposition to score first, Garrett Cole turns it up a notch and blows it by the young Seager.
Andre Ethier making his first start in the series at the plate now with Crawford at third base and 2 men out. .293 the average. Ethier with 299 career doubles. 1 away from 300. Hitting .305 against right-handers this season. 1-1. Took that one for a strike. Ethier is 77 for .318 against right-handers. And Cole, after giving up the leadoff triple to Crawford, has put himself in a position with the 2 strikeouts now of getting out of this inning. 2-1. Garrett is 8-5 on the road in 15 starts this year. His road ERA is .236. That's 3rd best in the National League, behind only Jake Arrieta and Zach Greinke. Wow. 97 right down the chute, and it's 2-2.
Well, 1 strike away of getting out of it. The leadoff triple. Crawford still at third, hoping to strand them, and that's when you have overpowering stuff like Garrett Cole does. Fans here in LA, if they don't score, it'll probably be frustrated, but when you have this kind of arm, that kind of breaking ball, you have the ability to just staying alive. And Garrett Cole not working corners, so he's not trying to nitpick, he's not trying to get called strikes, he's trying to overpower and dominate these 2, 3, 4 hitters.
Two balls, 2 strikes to the Dodgers right fielder. That's in the air to center. Base hit. Dodgers on the board, 1-0. And the Pirates have now allowed a first inning run in 8 of their last 9 games.
They tried to finish him off with the breaking ball, tried to bury it and get the swing and miss. Unfortunately for Garrett, he left this pitch pretty much middle. The fastball with that great velocity, he can get away with pitches down the middle because he can overpower you. The breaking ball, you leave it thigh-high middle, good chance the other guy's going to hit it good.
The catcher Yasmani Grandal is up now. He's a switch hitter batting left-handed against Cole. .252 his average. 15 home runs on the year. Dials one up at 95, past him for a strike. 1-1. So 1 strike away from getting out of the inning, and Ethier wins round 1. By him again. 96 that time. Do I hear 97 next?
And I tell you, that's frustrating as a hitter. You get up there and you know the guy has a power arm. You get the fastball, you're looking for it, and you swing through it. That's frustrating. That's where you start thinking there's something wrong with mechanics. Start thinking your swing's too long. And a guy like Garrett Cole could put you in a slump.
Well, Cole not having a quick inning whatsoever. The next pitch will be his 24th, and on a hot day that can take a toll. 1-2 pitch. And Grandal looks at it. Grandal started to take a step toward the third base dugout. I think he thought that might have been strike 3. And let's see on the grid where it was. Was it a strike? Yes, it was. Cole not getting much help today. The early going. There goes Ethier. Swing and a miss, and Grandal is out. 3 strikeouts in the inning, but 2 hits and a run produced. It's 1-0 after 1 full inning.
Second inning, I'm Robbie. It's Mikowski. We haven't heard from Jung Ho Kang since he suffered a season-ending knee injury until this morning, and that is via social media on his Instagram page, where Jung Ho was able to put out a picture of him sitting in the wheelchair, looking down, and he put a little bit of wording in it, under it in Korean, which basically translated to, "Thank you everyone for the support. I'm sorry that I have not been able to speak to the media or return all my messages. I will get back stronger and healthy next season." So it's good to hear from Jung Ho Kang that he's doing well, Tim and John, and hopefully we see him back with a quick and speedy recovery. But we're thankful also that he was able to put out that tweet thanking everyone for their support.
Yeah, expected to be in the hospital, I guess, for another couple of days. Wish him the best in his recovery, and looking forward to having him back next year. I'm sure he is happy to have the surgery part behind him, and now the recovery part looks like it's beginning for him. Francisco Cervelli will lead off for the Pirates in the second.
It's going, I'm sure, going to be very difficult to watch, being such a big part of this team and fitting in nicely in the clubhouse. And to get to the most important part of the schedule, crunch time, the big games, onto the postseason, and to not be a part of it has to be gut-wrenching.
2-ball, no strike pitch. This one is looped into center field for a base hit. Cervelli with the leadoff single. And talking about injuries, we had hoped to get some comments from Robbie, but he's too busy being injured. He says, "Thank you for the well wishes. I have crossed get an X-ray at Dodger Stadium after a game off the bucket list." Robbie was in harm's way yesterday. He's embedded down there in the dugout.
Yeah.
And I was glad to pronounce you alive today. Somebody asked me how you were. I said, well, he's alive.
90-plus man-hours to the chest is not the most fun experience anyone will ever go through. A very small compression fracture to the sternum, but all is well. Very big thanks, Todd Tomzik, Ben Potenziano, the athletic training staff of the Pittsburgh Pirates, and also the team doctors for the Pirates here in the LA Dodgers. Fantastic stuff, and I'm not thankful enough for those guys and their help.
And you're right back down, same spot.
Same spot. I'm definitely paying attention to the right-handed batters today. No question about it.
Well, lightning doesn't strike twice in the same place.
Oh, don't say that, Tim.
Unless you're at Dodger Stadium, so be careful.
Do not say that.
Right. Pedro Alvarez with a 1-1 count on him.
It's costume day today, isn't it?
It is costume day.
Robbie should jump on the plane in a body bag.
And go as himself. Pedro, hard one hopper to Utley, drops it, and Pedro is called out at first. Pirates are going to take a peek at it. Then hurdles up in front of the dugout. It was close at first base, but what could have been a double play ball for the Dodgers was not. And now the Bucks have the tying run in scoring position.
Shortstop, number 10, Jordy Mercer.
Routine double play ball. And dropped. Bobbled, grabs it. My goodness gracious. Yeah, he had some troubles there and still had time to throw out Pedro.
Can't assume the double play, so no error, just a 4-3 put out.
4-4-4-4-3.
Yeah, that's right. True. So does he get 4 assists on that?
Yeah, every time you dribble it off a foot.
Does he have a clause in his deal for a number of assists? He'd be doing that all the time. Jordy Mercer takes inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Mercer trying to get that tying run in. 1-0 Dodger lead early. Cervelli a leadoff base hit to center field. A strike on the inside corner.
Giveth and taketh. You know, a pretty tight zone as we saw with Garrett Cole in the bottom of the first inning. And this righty Bolsinger, a couple curveballs to Mercer. One called a ball that's on the corner. And the next one called a strike that I guess caught the edge.
And 2 to Jordy. Jordy had 2 hits last night. Ended up 2 for 3 in the ball game with a walk. Was on base 3 times. Pirates could really use him to get hot here down the stretch and have some production at the bottom part of the order. Almost got him. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
See that slow curve ball and then pops at 89 under your hands. It looks a lot firmer than the actual velocity.
Down on strikes for Mercer. Second strikeout victim for Bolsinger today.
Maybe the best curveball he's thrown so far. You see where it starts. It starts, you know, right around the belt of Jordy. He's in protection mode, and then that ball, the bottom falls out. You know, that's about the thing you want to do with a curveball with 2 strikes. You make it look like a strike and have it break down and out of the zone.
Now Garrett Cole a chance to help himself. 8 hits on the season for Garrett. Saw Liriano get a hit last night, maybe influenced by that. Liriano with a base hit in a sacrifice situation, too. Right off the glove of Bolsinger. Cole hurrying. There's the throw, and he's safe. Coming home is Cervelli. He's in there. And the ball thrown into the seats, and Cole will head down to second. He'll get third.
I was going to say, you should get
He'll get 2 bases on this. The ball game is tied 1-1, and the go-ahead run now 90 feet away on a series of misplays by the Dodgers.
Bolsinger looks to be shaken up. As the ball, I thought it hit the palm of the glove. I don't know. He's looking at the hand. Curveball. Look at that location. That's a pretty good curveball right there that Cole hits hard back up the middle. And it's hard to tell if it got the bottom of the glove or if it just got all hand, all palm of the hand. He had some time. A good flip probably gets Garrett Cole. The bad flip obviously costs them a run, so the Bucks are able to tie it up.
Stan Conte, the Dodger trainer, is out there taking a peek at Bolsinger. As the rest of the infielders watch, but Cervelli comes in to tie it on the play. Keystone Cops defense by the Dodgers.
And that's why another thing, if you're ever on second base with 2 outs and there's a routine ground ball or hit to an infielder or something like this that goes off the pitcher, as your base runner, never just go jogging into third and not watch the play. Go in hard to third, round the bag at third, and watch the throw. Because any kind of throw that just kicks away from a first baseman, even if it's just 5 or 10 feet, you should be able to score easily. No reason not to just bust it around the bag. Take a look. Obviously, if a guy beats out the infield hitter, whatever, he put on the brakes, you're there. But if the ball gets thrown away, everybody knows Cervelli's not the fastest runner in the world. But he comes around the bag, he sees the throw, gets away, he scores easily on it.
2 errors on the play, one on Bolsinger, one on Van Slyke.
Van Slyke maybe more accustomed to throwing from the outfield than over there at first base.
So leadoff man Gregory Polanco back up, second time around against Bolsinger. Lined out to center field first time up. Chance to get the Bucks in front. 2 down, Cole at third.
I'm surprised. How does Cole not get a knock on that? I mean, that should be a hit and an error. That shouldn't be an error and an error. I mean, he knocks it down. It's a line drive. He has to go over there, run, and flip it on the run. It should be a hit.
2-0 now to Gregory. 1-1, top of the second. Bucks trying to get out of here with a series win. Heading to Colorado right after the game for 4 games with the Rockies starting tomorrow night. Down bluffs the throw, and Cole not really that far off the bag. 2-1 to Polanco. Haven't seen Grandal at all this series until today. A.J. Ellis has caught the first 2 games. Off-speed pitch is knocked to left field, and heading after it is Crawford. He'll make the catch. Pirates will leave a man, but get one in. And after an inning and a half, it's a tie ball game in Los Angeles.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by the Chevy Cruze and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day. Let's go, Bucks!
Here's our Day Automotive this day in Pirates history. 1962, the Bucks beat the Reds 4-3 at Forbes Field. Willie Stargell collected his first career hit. Fourth inning RBI triple, but Pops was thrown out at home trying to make it an inside the park home run. That will be the Pirates' only run until the ninth. Third baseman Bob Bailey came through with a walk-off two-run double to win it for the Bucks. Willie Stargell, that was the first hit. He had a lot of hits. Vin saw it, and Vin saw it too. Leave this ballpark. Robbie Ince-Mikowski has more on that.
Well, we're going to talk about a Giancarlo Stanton home run that was hit here at Dodger Stadium back on May 12th. The home run came off Mike Bolsinger, and that was not just any home run. This was a home run. As you watch left field, the ball goes completely out of Dodger Stadium. Okay, now just 4 people have done that. Stanton was the Stanton was the 4th guy to do it. One of those guys you mentioned a moment ago was Willie Stargell, and he did it twice. His homer in 1969 went an estimated 507 feet further than Stanton's, which they estimated at about 475. Now, this place opened in 1962. We're talking 53 seasons ago. And that's quite the feat for Stanton, but also shows, Tim and John, just how much power Pops had in his bat.
You know what's a neat thing, too, is when the Pirates players are dropped off, they're dropped off right in front of those 2 placards. So Pirates players get off the bus, they walk straight, and they see where Willie Stargell hit those home runs before walking into the outfield entrance of the clubhouse here.
Did you see the other day? I know you were on the radio. I guess it was last night. Where they showed Michael Morse hit the State Farm sign out there in left field.
Did he really? I didn't see that.
Crazy.
In batting practice. BP?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Morse is bad news for a lot of signage at ballparks during batting practice. Yeah. He assaulted the signs in the outfield in Miami when we were there.
Puts a dent in the BP ball budget.
Ball and 2 strikes to Scott Van Slyke. 1-1 game, bottom of the second. He is down on strikes. 4th strikeout for Cole. If you didn't see it, let's take a look at it again. This is a BP bomb right here.
Josh Peterson.
Dave Joust pitching to him.
Kind of hard to see the ball, but you saw all the shaggers out in the outfield had their backs to the infield as they marvel at the distance.
Well, they might have to call themselves to replace that sign, or at least the damage to it. Here's Jock Peterson batting in the 7th spot today. Garrett Cole has struck out 4 of the last 5 batters. And Peterson, a ground ball, foul. Well, you talk about the first half this young player has had. Got him to the All-Star game. Things really settled down for him. Probably not in the way he wanted them to in the second half. That's a great hat to have. She's got the eye patch in her hand there. Today's a sunscreen day at the park. It's an SPF kind of day.
You'd much rather be sitting in the shade on a day like today.
Ball and 2 strikes, the pitch.
Notice I saw a lot of this weekend here in LA. A lot of people walking around with umbrellas. Did you see that? Notice that at all?
A little bit.
Last couple of days, I saw a lot of people with umbrellas.
I mean, there is some here at the park. Some of the camera guys down by the dugout have them to protect themselves from the sun. That one's ripped down the line, a fair ball. Bounces out to right field. Polanco will gun it into second base and hold Peterson to a single. Well, that ball had everything it could do to avoid the personnel down the line.
Caught a nice little break as the ball goes down the line. Hits that corner and bounces out. You expect it to go down towards the outfield wall, and you never know then if it'll swing around or, that could give corner outfielders some issues down in the corner. But hit something, came out the Polanco, and with that strong arm, you saw a little slippage there from Peterson. Not sure if that's why he pulled up, but good thing for him he didn't continue on to second.
Jock Peterson, he's going to be a Dodger for a while, it appears. One of those young anchor type players they'll have in the outfield for the foreseeable future. Alex Guerrero, double play candidate perhaps. Grounded out to end the ball game. Or actually made the second to last out, grounding out to Walker last night. Corey Seager ended it. Peterson takes off for second. Swing and a miss. Throw down, not there. And a stolen base for Peterson, his fourth of the season.
See the good jump there from Peterson. He gets in there easily.
One out. Dodgers have the go-ahead runner at second. Guerrero down to third base line, hits the bag. That's a fair ball. Peterson will come in and score. On to second base is Guerrero. Throw right there. My goodness, what a throw by Starling Marte to retire Alex Guerrero. His 15th outfield assist. An incredible rifle shot by the strong-armed Marte.
That is remarkable. This ball wasn't hit all that hard. It just gets down the line. It looks like it bounced over the bag. Just perfectly placed. Ramirez unable to get over there and keep it in the infield. So because it was hit so slowly, Marte able to get over there, get in front of it, and look at this throw and tag. I mean, absolutely perfect. It had to be absolutely perfect. We talk about the catcher all the time, throwing down to second and being perfect, and that the guy's safe unless it's perfect. You don't expect it to be that perfect from deep in the corner in left field. I mean, that is absolutely perfect.
The Dodgers get the lead on the play, but they do get, the Pirates do get the second out thanks to Marte. Terrific throw. Bolsinger 2-1 now, the count to him. Marte leads the league in outfield assists. Got his 14th on Friday, his 15th right there. And that's the most since Brian Giles had 14 for the Pirates in 2000. Last Pirate outfielder to lead the National League in assists was Barry Bonds. In 1990, he shared the league lead with 14. You see he is 5 ahead of Bruce, Inciarte, Kemp, and his own teammate Polanco. And Marte hopes to get something done with the bat as he will lead off in the top of the third. Bolsinger out on strikes. Where's he going? Cole says, where are you going? You're out. Marte to the plate when we return. Tomlin's live press conference Tuesday on Root Sports. Your game reaction and analysis on the Steelers' game against the 49ers today. And see how the coach is getting his team ready for the next matchup. Mike Tomlin press conference live Tuesday at noon on Root Sports. Huge win for the Steelers today. 43-18 over the 49ers. UPMC scoreboard 2-1. Dodgers with the lead as we go to the top half of the third inning. The Steelers doing a great job at home today. They beat a team from California. Now it's the Pirates' turn to do the same today.
Would be nice.
Pull off the double. Can you believe the Penguins have a game?
That is crazy. It's crazy.
They're just about ready to start.
Tomorrow, I think, is their first preseason game.
It's crazy. Short off season. And Thursday, they'll play the Red Wings right here on Root Sports. Watch that game. What, Bucks and Pucks that day?
Bucks and Pucks.
1-0 to Marte. Bolsinger's pitch. And Marte tries to bunt. 1 ball and 1 strike. The last outfielder to have more assists than Marte. And probably not going to be surprised. Jose Guillen. 1998, he had 16 outfield assists. Must have been a good year for outfielders because he didn't lead the league. But outfield assists are hard to get.
Yeah.
Point Park University tweets reacting to Marte's throw. And he hammers one. Way back it goes. And Starling Marte ties the game at 2. Home run number 17. Oh, an absolute no-doubter.
We talked about it. Bolsinger. Now 6 home runs allowed on the year, all to right-handed batters. And again, it's a breaking ball up in the zone. You hang a curveball more times than not, it's going to be hit hard. And that one not only hit hard, but hit high and deep. A no-doubter.
2-2 ball game. Nobody out in the third.
Let's see the location. Look where that is. That's above the belt, out over. And you're almost, if you're going to hang a breaking ball, you're almost better off hanging it in than out over the plate, outer half.
3-0 to McCutchen. Which hasn't seen really anything to hit yet today. He was walked in his first at bat.
See if he gets a pitch to hit here. 3-0. He's swinging, thinking back to back. Curveball.
Ooh, got it.
Ooh.
3-1. Marte extends his career high home run numbers to 17. That's out in the upper area of the bleachers. Oh, McCutchen lost the handle on the bat. See that ever?
You ever see did you see the other day Evan Gattis hit a home run like that?
One-handed.
Yeah. The bottom hand came off the bat and with just his top hand, and that was the case there with Andrew. His bottom hand comes off. You don't see that very often. But Gattis hit one in the seats like that. Crazy.
Well, Evan Gattis is the Paul Bunyan of baseball.
Yes, he is.
You know his story.
Bolsinger does not want to give Andrew McCutchen a fastball to hit. 3-0 was a curveball. He got a call on it. It appeared to be down and away. 3-1 a breaking ball down. There's McCutchen's friends.
Yep, made their way from San Diego. Inside, and he's walked again. Bolsinger walks McCutchen, so the go-ahead runs on with nobody out.
For 17, Aramis Ramirez.
It was great to see that family here again last night. Remembered them from last season, and the video involving McCutchen and those kids went viral. It was amazing. Here they are sweating out this 97-degree heat, but they're not leaving their seats out in left center.
No, they're not. Got some TV time last night with Robbie venturing out there. Interviewed the kids and their dad.
Elijah, Christopher, and Roger. And that was this season in San Diego. We were there early.
Yeah.
That's when it was.
Sometime in May. Seems like last year.
They're the McQuarrie family. And some of McCutchen's biggest fans. Friend of mine from college here today, Rock. I haven't seen him in 25 years, 30, long time. Anyway, he brought his son just to see McCutchen.
Yeah.
Big Dodger fans, but he said we picked this game because we wanted to see McCutchen play. Son's 10 years old. Big Kutch fan. Swinging bunt on a roll foul.
It's pretty remarkable. You know, we talk about it all the time. Where everywhere we go, the Pirate fans come out. And when you have a star player like an Andrew McCutchen, they don't even have to be Pirate fans to come out to see this guy play.
He's really worked himself into being one of the faces of Major League Baseball. Certainly the face of the Pirates franchise and one of the stars of the game. 0-2 to Ramirez. And Aramis hits a shot. Oh, and a play by Seager. And they turn the double play. That ball is a rocket heading toward left field, and a backhand short hop play by Corey Seager. Smooth as silk. And there are two down.
It doesn't look too fast twitch for Seager. Everything he does just looks just so, like you say, silky smooth. And because of the silky smooth crossover and backhanded pick, it results in the Chick-fil-A double play. And once the ball's in the glove, it's elementary from there. An easy throw to second. Simple pick. Or simple turn there for Utley. Ball hit that hard and on the line. You know you're not going to get any traffic. Don't have to worry about a runner bearing down on you.
Check swing, foul ball, strike one to Neal. Neal struck out swinging in the first.
You know, talking about McCutchen and his star power. You know, it's one thing I do like about interleague play. I love the fact that, you know, Mike Trout will come to Pittsburgh next year. You know, Andrew McCutchen will go to Seattle and Texas, and you know, these star players can be seen by everybody.
Everywhere you go, you see McCutchen jerseys. Doesn't matter what town it is. Even St. Louis. 0-2. Walker hits this one out of play. Yanked it down the right side.
You know, there are certain players in certain markets that are great players that a lot of folks don't know about. I mean, even like a guy like Josh Donaldson, who's having a great year in Toronto, was a great player in Oakland. A lot of people in the East didn't see him play much, and so you like to see those type of guys coming to town every now and again.
Walker strikes out for the second time. Grandal will have to throw down to complete it. Pirates get a run on a 446-foot blast by Starling Marte, his career best 17th home run. And we've got a tie ball game after 2.5 innings at Dodger Stadium. Injury update. Cardinals outfielder Randall Grichuk was taken off the DL a couple of weeks ago, but his elbow strain has still caused him problems throwing. They have had him as a pinch hitter, even though they tried him in games. Although he couldn't throw, he threw from 90 feet, and the Cardinals are trying to get him to be able to throw to at least a cutoff man so they can get him back in the lineup soon. Garrett Cole with a 2-2 ball game on his hands, facing the top of the order, Carl Crawford. And Crawford drives one to left center field. McCutchen over there to grab it. There's one pitch and one out at the Dodger third.
McCutchen shading him that way a bit.
Number 26, Chase.
A little inside out swing. That fastball was in. He cuts it, slices it over there. And Andrew McCutchen, big jump.
Chase Utley now with one out, nobody on. Strike to Utley. He struck out with Crawford at third base and nobody out in the first inning. Crawford had the leadoff triple. He eventually came around to score when Andre Ethier, with 2 outs and 2 strikes, was able to get a single. 1-1 to Utley. Down to first base. Alvarez will handle it himself. 2 gone for the Dodgers. Want to see your strongest fan photo now? Use the hashtag PittDataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. It's brought to you by T-Mobile. Show you a photo later on today. Somebody out here in Southern California certainly has a great opportunity. If you're somewhere, you've got a great backdrop, show us your strongest fan photo. Props are always good. Dogs are good. Kids are good. They'll sort them out in the truck and then we'll show them to you. Big swing there by Seager. He's in the hole 0-2. Seager struck out swinging in the first.
Garrett could use a quick inning here.
After that first inning where he threw about 25 pitches or so. He's up to 50 now. 0-2 to Seager. Breaking ball hit in the air to center, going back McCutchen, and he won't get it. Seager will pull into second base with a double.
That goes to show you the pop that this young man possesses. Garrett Cole was hoping to get a quick 1-2-3 inning, keep the pitch count down, and threw a breaking ball there, and Seager stays back, stays inside. And if this was a night game, that ball would have been caught by McCutchen. The ball just doesn't carry that well at night, but during the day it takes off. Easy double.
Cole not pleased. That ball carried so far.
I'm sure he's not pleased with the location of that 2-strike pitch.
Well, Seager with his 7th double has hit safely in 13 of his 16 big league games. .22 hits through 16 games. Yasiel Puig had 25 in 2013. Lee Lacy 22 in 1972. So Seager keeping pace with him, and Andre Ethier has an RBI for the Dodgers, and he's now in the hole 0-2. Drove in his 45th run in the first inning. Go ahead run at second, 2 down and 2 strikes on Ethier. One and 2. Garrett 37-20 career record since his debut on the 11th of June 2013. Since he debuted, only 3 other pitchers have more wins: Greinke, Kershaw, and Bumgarner. And Ether down on strikes. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left, and after 3 full, it's the Pirates 2 and the Dodgers 2. We're getting you ready for the Penguins' new season with some preseason action this Thursday. Join us as the Pens take on the Detroit Red Wings at Joe Louis Arena starting at 7 with Penguins pregame presented by Heritage Valley Health Network. Boys on Frozen Pond are back. They could use some ice out here on a very hot day. 2-2 the score on the UPMC scoreboard. So we go to the top of the 4th inning. Along with John Wayner, I'm Tim Nemmer. Robbie and Smikowski with us as well. John and I are up in the shade. Robbie's not. Down the dugout somewhere. Robbie's down there in protective custody today. After being drilled with a foul ball yesterday. He knows the difference between pain and injury, so he's back to work today. Cervelli tries to bunt, and the play made by Guerrero. Alex Guerrero charging and throwing and retiring Cervelli.
Good idea. It just bunted it too hard. He had some room, but you see how quickly it gets out there to the charging third baseman Guerrero. That off the end of the bat, it kind of kills it. The grass will help slow it down, but that was just like a regular 3-hopper.
Pedro grounded out to Utley at second base in the second, 0 for 1. Today could be a day for Pedro. He loves the day games. Misses that one foul. 1 ball and 1 strike to Alvarez. Pedro appeared last night as a pinch hitter and grounded out. And this one is hammered to right center field. Way back. El Toro strikes again. And the Pirates back in front 3-2. Home run number 25 for Pedro.
Finally, the lefty takes Bolsinger deep.
Number 10.
Difference maker that Pedro can be when he takes advantage of mistakes. And Bolsinger left one right down the middle to Pedro, and he made him pay.
He's just moved ahead of Richie Hebner into 13th place all by himself on the club's all-time home run list with 129. Mercer grounds to Utley, and there are 2 out. Allegheny Health Network Supermo slowing down the swing.
Make him elevate. Look at that. Another breaking ball up in the zone. And boy, that extension. See how far he caught that out front. But not only catching it out front, but staying inside of it. If you don't stay outside of it, good chance you hook it foul. But he was out front and inside. Missile.
Of his 25 home runs, Rock, 21 are solo shots. Puts the Pirates in front 3-2. Good reason to smile for Petey.
You have to think, watching Bolsinger pitch here for the first time, the Pirates getting the first look, but he must have better command than he has shown today, because he had 6-3 record, very good ERA at 3.13. Well, he's left a lot of pitches down the middle. The breaking ball has been up a lot. I don't see a whole heck of a lot of movement from that fastball, which is listed as a cutter. But it's not like a Mark Melancon cutter, that's for sure.
Garrett strikes out at 1 in the dirt. The Pirates take the lead. Pedro Alvarez with his 25th round tripper of the season. Games in back of the Cardinals. The Cubs a game back of the Bucks. And there was a big situation there for the Cardinals in that inning, as Paul talked about. And the bases loaded, nobody out. Huge double play. And Cubs a run shy.
Well, that's one of those unwritten rules of baseball. Never make the second out at home.
Well, Pedro didn't give him a chance. He hit the ball out of the ballpark a long way. This is what the race looks like down the stretch. The remaining teams that the Cardinals have to play: the Reds, Brewers, Pirates, and Braves. Pirates play 4 of the Rockies, and the Cubs, Cardinals, and Cincinnati. The Cubs with Milwaukee. Pirates, Kansas City for 1 game, Cincinnati, and Milwaukee. Looks like the Pirates may have the tougher go with 2 series against the teams remaining in contention for the division. Cardinals have, with the exception of the Pirates series, have nothing but sub-500 teams. Yasmani Grandal is 0 for 1. Grandal struck out swinging to end the first. He's back for another strike. 1 and 2.
Another swing where the bottom hand comes off the bat. Cole pumping in the fastball. It's so awkward. Looks like it hurts. Garrett Cole throwing a lot of fastballs. Not really worried about location. Just challenging these guys. First pitch fastballs to 13 of 14 so far today.
Ball to the right side. Alvarez has it. He will toss to Cole for out number 1. 1 down for the Dodgers in the home half of the 4th. The division's on the line.
33.
When the Cardinals come to town for a 3-game series starting Monday, September 28th. Be there to cheer on your Bucks as they battle for the division against the Cardinals. For tickets to any game in the series, go to pirates.com/tickets. Big National League Central Showdown coming up at PNC Park. And Slight takes a strike. 1 homestand left, Rock. That's it, just 1. 3 with the Cardinals and 3 with the Reds. And then we'll see what the postseason brings.
I think I'm going to take in one of those games. It's my way of taking the wife out on a date. Cheap date.
You go all out. Strike 3 called. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Struck him out on 3 pitches and got him looking. Second time Van Slyke is out on strikes against Cole today.
Packs chip ham sandwiches. There's again the aggressiveness with the fastball. Coming in here at 96. Gets a good bit of that outside part of the plate.
You go all out on a date, don't you?
Yeah.
I mean, the chipped ham sandwiches, that puts it right over the top. That makes it a perfect evening. I think if Brandy could write up what a perfect evening and a perfect date with Rock would be, it would be to go to a Pirates game and have chipped ham sandwiches that you brought yourself.
That's right.
I mean, that is just, that's. See, guys, that's what you have to shoot for. Jock Peterson pops it up. And Ramos Ramirez is there to take care of it. A 10-pitch inning for Garrett Cole. Retires the Dodgers in order, and we're on to the 5th. Bucks 3, Dodgers 2. usually flying out of the park, but recently they've been hurling toward the infield thanks to Pirates outfielders. Plus, we take you inside the Bucs dugout for a team dance party. That and more on Inside Pirates Baseball, presented by Allegheny Health Network, right after postgame here on Root Sports. It is a 3-2 ball game. Top of the 5th inning. Pedro Alvarez and Starling Marte with solo homers. They're waving those balls goodbye off the bat of Marte and Pedro. And top of the order up, Gregory Polanco, 3rd time to face Mike Bolsinger. Bolsinger in his first ever appearance against the Pirates. And this one butted past him.
Andy.
Oh, that's a beautiful bunt. That is absolutely beautiful. Got it past the mound in front of Utley. No play and a base hit for Polanco.
That was a beauty. You try this more often with lefties than righties just because of the way they fall off the mound. But, man, he sees a lot of times a left-handed batter will go in there and he'll look to see where the second baseman is positioned. If the second baseman's playing deep, figure all you got to do is get it past the pitcher and you can beat it out.
You saw when Bolsinger finally grabbed it, you could see the foot of Polanco stepping on the base.
Yep.
They just had no chance to get him. And we'll see if he decides to stay there or not. 26 stolen bases on the year. And Rick Honeycutt's going to come out of the Dodger dugout. Try to settle down Bolsinger here.
Get the bullpen going.
And the right-hander jumped up, started throwing out there.
You got to figure out Marte, oddly enough, his last at bat tried to bunt for a hit, and then he hit a ball 440 feet?
446.
Garcia gets loose. Good. Hanging breaking ball. Middle of those bleachers out there, and so figure after Polanco's on here with nobody out, now you're facing Marte that took you deep. He hasn't had much interest in throwing McCutcheon strikes. You got Ramirez, he's hit 2 balls hard against him. So Don Mattingly thinking that maybe not a good idea to keep Bolsinger in here too long.
Marte hits a ground ball to the left side. Seager will take the out at first. A little close play, but they get Marte. Polanco safe at second base.
He just makes it look he's so nonchalant. I mean, I'm thinking the way he goes at that ball, boy, he better show some urgency here. Marte is going to have an infield hit. I figured he didn't have much of a shot at Polanco. The ball wasn't hit all that hard, but Seager just, some guys just have that natural ability to know the speed of the game and know how much time they have to make a play. And he just kind of cool and calm, gets it by a step.
See if Andrew McCutcheon gets anything to hit this time. Well, got a strike, first pitch. He's walked twice today. Average sitting at 298, 95 RBIs. He's one away from his career high of 96. And one.
I figure pretty much a lock that Andrew ends up with 100 RBIs. And this day and age, you don't see many triple-digit RBI figures. There's 2 so far in the National League.
Ball and 2 strikes to Kutch. Bolsinger around the plate this time. Yeah, Nolan Arenado of the Rockies, 114 RBIs. Paul Goldschmidt of the Diamondbacks, 100 even. 114. Arenado. The Pirates will have to tangle with him for 4 straight games starting tomorrow night. What a player he's become.
Man, he's something else. Everybody raved about the defense, the Gold Glover. Didn't think the bat would be so productive.
Full count to McCutchen. Last night in the third inning, he had a full count on him with 2 outs. Mercer and Liriano aboard, and he put one down the chalk line in right field. Got them both home. Payoff from Bolsinger.
No surprise, a breaking ball. So he went 3-0 his last time up, did McCutchen, as Ramirez looks for another RBI opportunity. 3-0 curveball, 3-1 curveball, 3-2 curveball. Another 3-2 curveball here.
1 on, 1 out. 3-ball, 2-strike pitch. Ball 4. He has walked for the 3rd time. And the Pirates have runners at first and second. Ramirez comes up. Take a look now at the Nissan road ahead. Here are the probables tomorrow night. We're on the air at 8 p.m. on Root Sports. A.J. Burnett against John Gray, the rookie. Then Jay Happ on Tuesday against Chris Russell. Charlie Morton will pitch Wednesday night against Jorge De La Rosa. And it'll be Jeff Locke in the Thursday day game against Chad Bettis. That's the way that series lines up. Don Mattingly making a trip out. He will replace Bolsinger after he walks McCutchen. So Bolsinger, who lost his job when they acquired Matt Latos. Latos designated. Bolsinger replacing him. He is done for the day. Comes Yimi Garcia.
Authority of the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
3-2, Bucks in front, top of the 5th, 1 out, 2 on. The Dodger pitching change. Bolsinger is done after 4 1/3. He walked 3. All 3 McCutchen. Must be the Pirates section.
Is that AJ's guest list?
Maybe. That's a good call. Yimi Garcia takes over. Second appearance in the series.
Hello, Yimi. 3-3, 308 earned run average, 62 punch outs and 52 2/3 innings. Opponent's hitting just 196 against him. And Garcia features a fastball, slider, changeup. Like most relievers, a mid-90s fastball.
Pitch to Ramirez. Ramos fouls it back. Strike 1.
Ramirez, big spot last night came through. Likes these situations. You see the 71 RBIs. 5 more than he had last year. He had 66 RBIs last year, and he had 50 more at bats than he has currently. So still getting the job done is Aramis Ramirez.
A year ago at this time, 66 runs batted in, a home run less. Batting average was higher, though.
Yes, he'd take their RBIs over the average. 1,413 career RBIs.
Get this question a lot. Is he a Hall of Famer? Is he right on the line?
Yeah, that's...
Runners go, and Ramirez hits one into left field. Polanco will come around third and score. It's another RBI for Aramis Ramirez, and the Pirates lead it 4-2.
Gotta love it. Gotta love the way he produces. Just a force in the middle of the lineup. You want to pitch around McCutchen. Aramis Ramirez. Showed you prior to the game what he's been hitting with runners in scoring position of late. Just crushing the ball. Last night it was a slider he drove into the gap, down and away. This time they try to run a fastball in on the hands. And 3 straight line shots in that general direction.
Walker up with 2 on and 1 out. He is 0 for 2, struck out twice. Was about due. Neil homered here Friday night. He's 14 on the year, 269. Leads all National League second baseman in home runs, extra base hits, and runs batted in. Yimi Garcia from the Dominican Republic. Set to pitch. 1-1.
Like to break it open. A gap shot here. Do just that. A nice comfortable lead for a change. Seems like it's been some time since Pirates were well out in front.
On the homestand there was a game.
September 12th. 10-2 win over the Brewers.
8 days ago.
Not that long ago.
Ramirez at first, Kutch at second, 1 out, and a 1-2 count on Neil Walker. Still 1-2.
Getting some pitches to hit up and out over the plate. Just can't get on top.
Well, see, now you've got Garcia. Now, the lefty in the bullpen warming up J.P. Howell. With the starter, Bolsinger, not throwing many fastballs and had movement on everything. Now you've got a guy who will throw a 4-seamer. Is that a relief for a hitter?
Well, the way Bolsinger was throwing today, I don't think they were in a big rush to get him out of there. I mean, obviously you want to pile on and hit some balls hard and score a bunch of runs, but that had to be a comfortable at bat. It wasn't overpowering. It didn't have a whole lot of movement on the cutter.
McCutchen takes off for third. Swing and a miss, and the throw down. And it's a strike him out, throw him out. And Walker struck out for the 3rd time. Grandal throws out McCutchen. Pirates add a run, 4-2. Takes off for third, and it's a strike him out, throw him out with the last out at third base.
Well, you know, Andrew thinking maybe he picked up a sign, maybe thought he saw a breaking ball, maybe he thought he got a big enough jump. You know, thinking maybe he's going to waste a pitch. Maybe get over to third with one out. Walker get a chance to hit a sac fly in, but obviously not a good enough jump.
Ramirez, second big RBI in as many days. RBI base hit with runners going. And Polanco came around to score. Now a 2-run lead to work with for Garrett Cole. Cole facing Alex Guerrero. Guerrero had an RBI base hit in the second inning, then tried to extend it to a double. But Starling Marte from the left field line rifled him out. One ball, one strike. Kerwin Danley says he didn't go. 1-1 to Guerrero. Hopper towards short. The bat almost gets Ramirez. Strong throw by Mercer to get him out. I mean, Ramirez made a first move toward the ball, but ended up having to run for cover. That spear was hurtling toward him.
That was pretty funny. I guess if you're not around Ramirez, it's not funny, but that thing was chasing him. And, you know, anytime the ball is hitting that general direction, Ramos not taking any chances.
His first steps toward the ball, then he's like, no, Meantime, Mercer making a throw to first base. Here's Jimmy Rollins batting. Rollins, a switch hitter, batting left-handed and hitting in the pitcher's spot in the fifth inning. Waiting for Garcia. Rollins has had wrist problems, kept him out. But able to pinch hit for 220. Hit in the eighth inning last night and popped up to Ramirez. Pops up, but it's out of play this time for strike two. Now, if you're the Dodgers and you got Corey Peterson playing the way he is, but you got a veteran like Jimmy Rollins, who they went out and got to secure that shortstop position this year and help him into the postseason. Guy's been there a lot. What do you do?
You know, Seager, he's obviously ready. You know, he's ready to be a big league shortstop, an everyday guy. Until he struggles, if he struggles, he plays.
2-2 pitch to Rollins. Struck him out. Another strikeout for Garrett Cole. Let's go back to our Root Sports studios for this game break.
Left fielder, Carl Crawford.
All right, thank you very much, Paul. The Cubs had a chance in the eighth inning, but couldn't capitalize. They got one run. And the bases loaded with nobody out. So the Cardinals currently 4.5 ahead of the Pirates. Crawford lifts this one to left field. Playable for Marte. Nice easy 1-2-3 inning for Garrett Cole. Again, a 10-pitch inning. And we're on to the sixth. Pirates leading by 2.
Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Allegheny Health Network. Health for all. By Kenny Ross. Just ask a neighbor. And by Levin's, the official furniture and mattress supplier of the Pittsburgh Pirates. For the best quality, service, and value, shop Levin's. Let's go Bucks!
4-2, Pirates with the lead, top of the 6th inning. 4.5 games the distance now, as the Cardinals have beaten the Cubs today. The Cubs game and a half behind the Pirates, so the Pirates win. The distance remains 4 behind the Cards, and then it'll be a 2-game cushion between the Pirates and the Cubs. Carlos Frias, the third pitcher used by Don Mattingly this afternoon.
Papas Fritas. 5-5, 4.39 ERA. Not a lot of strikeouts. And not a very impressive opponent's average.
25-year-old from Nagua in the Dominican Republic, facing Cervelli. And his first pitch almost hits the mascot.
That'll get your attention if you're Francisco Cervelli. 98 over everything.
A stretch by Frias in the pitch. And Cervelli hits a hot shot down to Van Slyke, right into his glove. And there's one out. Most popular way to follow the Pirates' push to the postseason is with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, highlights, replay reviews, scores, StatCast, live radio broadcasts, and more. Get MLB.com at bat now. If you haven't had it, you've been missing out. Right to the ballpark with you, or no matter where you are. If you're traveling, that seems to be a big usage for people who maybe are displaced or not traveling. Alvarez with a base hit to right. Pedro with his second hit.
He can hit the fastball. He can turn it around with the best of them. He gets one at 98. And he always seems to be geared up for it. Generates a lot of power. That ball jumping off the bat. That'll be it for Pedro. Sean Rodriguez. Pinch run. Play first base.
Pitch outside for a ball to Mercer. So a run and a defensive replacement as we get later in the ball game. Two Pirates, 4 runs on 7 hits, 2 runs on 5 hits, and 2 errors for Los Angeles. Garrett Cole involved in the play where those 2 errors were committed. The Pirates ended up tying the game. That was in the second inning. And the pitch outside, 2-0. Well, Frias can throw it 97 miles an hour. That last pitch.
Lots of velocity. And, now behind in the count to Jordy Mercer. Jordy Mercer likes hitting the fastball. Let's see if he can get it turned up a notch, get it ready, throw the barrel head out there.
Two-0 pitch. And a bouncer to the left side. Seager with it. Flips to Utley for one. Back to first. Too late. And Seager had to go a long way to his right to establish the play. And the more we see him play, the more impressed you have to be with him.
Smooth. Really not hit all that hard. And as far as he had to go to the right, you know you're going to get one. Utley with the the turn. He uses the second base bag as protection, so Sean Rodriguez would have to come over the bag to get to him.
Mercer at first base, 2 men out. Garrett Cole 0 for 2. Frias ready to deliver. And a ground ball stopped by Utley. Throws to first and he gets it. Utley robs Cole of a hit.
Heck of a play. Garrett Cole not happy.
I'm Robbie. It's Mikowski. Well, Chase Utley certainly has had an interesting year. He was with the Philadelphia Phillies when Cole Hamels threw his no-hitter at Wrigley Field. Jake Arrieta was the opposing mound pitcher. Since then, it's been, well, rather interesting for the former Phillies second baseman. Now, he was able to, when he got traded, his first game was in Houston, and that is when Mike Fiers threw his no-hitter against the LA Dodgers. Chase Utley made the next to last out. Now, fast forward 9 days later when the Dodgers played host to the Chicago Cubs, guess what? Jake Arrieta threw his no-hitter, and the final out was Chase Utley, who struck out swinging. So, yes, he was no-hit twice in his first 9 games as an LA Dodger. But at least, Tim and John, he's seen 3 of the 6 no-hitters have been thrown in Major League Baseball this year. And speaking of Arrieta, Cole Hamels, I mentioned a moment ago, his mound opponent that day was, of course, Jake Arrieta, the guy who the Buccos have obviously quite a bit of history with. But still, Chase Utley, what a season it's been for him. And he was part of the no-hitter, of course, that Roy Halladay threw back in 2010 against the Cincinnati Reds in his first ever playoff start. So what a career. And how many stories can that guy tell with no-hitters?
I'm sure you can tell quite a few. Yeah, to have seen and been present for half the no-hitters that have been thrown in the league this year, in the game this year. That's amazing.
That really is amazing. It just doesn't happen very often.
And nobody wants to be the last out.
No.
But he was in one of those games. A 281 career hitter, 235 home runs, 921 RBIs. And playing at home now in Southern California. He's out of Pasadena. Well, Garrett Cole with 8 strikeouts in the first 5 innings. They face Utley, Seager, and Ethier. Pirates up 4-2. Clayton Kershaw had a string of 14 straight unbeaten starts in last night. Pirates beat him 3-2. Oh, what a pitcher he is.
Yeah. Impressive.
Here is Utley 0 for 2 today. Struck out in the first and then grounded out to Pedro Alvarez in the 3rd inning.
You got me thinking about their Ramos Ramirez Hall of Fame credentials. So one guy popped in my mind right away who I think he's comparable to is Moises Alou. I think of another good RBI guy. Once again here out in front. I think a guy like Alou, I mean, you think of Hall of Fame, you think of somebody that's dominating the game or one of the very top hitters in the game for an extended period of time. And Alou, now Moises, eligible for the Hall of Fame, not in. So I just took a look at his stats. Not quite as many RBIs. He's about 130 short. Not as many homers, about 50 short. Batting average for Alou, a little better. Hits are pretty close.
A pretty good pitch right here that was called the ball. Just outside.
Two-seamer just runs off the plate.
Count even to Utley.
So for me, that's, Alou, I don't know if he gets in. Ramirez, he'll probably have to take the same route. Wait and see.
Ramos needs 3 more hits for 2,300 in his career. With 2 today. Nobody on, nobody out for the Dodgers in the 6th. 2-ball, 2-strike count to the second baseman, Chase Utley. And he lifts this one toward right center, and McCutchen over to make the catch. Well, Utley got good wood on it, but McCutchen right there.
Just hung up a little too much for that to hit grass. And if you don't hit it right on the screws, and he hit it pretty good. I don't think he hit it great. And you give Andrew McCutchen that much of an opportunity. He's going to chase most of them down.
Corey Seager 1 for 2 with a double in the 3rd. And a ground ball slowly hit to Walker. 2 men out. Well, we told you that the Cardinals beat the Cubs 4-3. Some news out of that game, John. Yadier Molina, the catcher for the Cardinals, had to leave that game with a thumb issue. Calling it perhaps a sprain, and so he'll be reevaluated. So Molina not 100% right now.
I mean, they've been dealing with the injuries all year long. I mean, that's another huge one if he is held out for any extended period of time. I know they've given him a couple days off in a row. Cruz was in there, I think,
Friday,
Saturday.
And then today Molina back in and bangs up his thumb a little bit.
Holiday got in there briefly, got hit in the head. Doesn't look like, I mean, they keep talking about they're hopeful that they get Adams back, Holiday back. Now they're hopeful that Molina's not out for any period of time.
1-0 to Andre Ethier. He takes a strike. And still a few more games, really a week, before you have to worry about the Cardinals. Figure out these Dodgers here today, and then try to do the best job possible against the Rockies for 4 games. Rockies out of contention, eliminated from the postseason. Would you rather play against a team that's got something to play for, or a team that's just playing it out?
You know, sometimes the environment might affect the way you go about it. You know, I think it's always better to play in front of a spirited crowd, a crowd that knows there's something up for grabs. You expect to go into Colorado, it's going to be kind of quiet, probably won't be too big of crowds. But I know this, you can't fall asleep on them. I mean, they still have a strong lineup. They're capable of scoring a bunch of runs. They've had issues with their pitching, but they don't have issues with their offense. And he knows better than anybody, Clint Hurdle, that home field advantage that they have there in Denver.
Strikeout number 9 for Garrett Cole in the game as he retires Ethier for the second time on strikes. 4-2 heading to inning number 7. Colleen O'Hare sent this in. Wow, they're in Pisa in Italy. You see the Leaning Tower? Well, you could raise the Jolly Roger off that tower, couldn't you?
You would think that would be a good place to put it.
Well, that's strong. That's a long way to go to raise the Jolly Roger. All the way to Italy. 4-2, Pirates lead, top of the 7th, top of the order up. I know a lot of fans out here. I know when we were leaving the ballpark last night, we were in a cab and some Pirate fans drove by and saw who was in our cab and started yelling.
Just about every car in LA drove past our cab last night.
That's true. Yeah. We had it was the longest 3 miles ever last night.
You figure if we usually leave the ballpark 20-25 minutes after the game. The bus typically leaves the ballpark about an hour 5 minutes after the game, and we arrived the same time as the bus to go 3 miles.
Polanco swinging a miss, 0-2 to Gregory. Well, I think the driver used his foot on the brake, or he either drove with 2 feet or something, because it was brake, head bobs forward, brake, head bobs back. Polanco fouls it back here.
Well, I think if you would have used your feet a little bit more, we would have got there quicker.
Would have got there quicker had it ran. Pitch up high in the zone, fouled off. Nothing in 2 to Gregory. And he rips it foul right off the front of the Pirate dugout.
Good shot, Travis.
Now they're looking over and yelling at Robbie, saying, "Why didn't you dive in front of that?"
So the first place Travis Snyder looks and points at me, Decker, Ishikawa, and Snyder. That's how you get out of the way, Robbie. Thanks, Travis. Appreciate that.
Just giving you a lesson. Got a lesson from a big leaguer right there.
Yeah. Let me have it at the top of his lungs. As much as I love Travis Snyder, he's the biggest thorn in his side, if you will, in that clubhouse.
He's glad to be back, just for that reason.
We certainly are happy to have him.
1-2, and Polanco smacks a foul out of play.
Typically, the two words you always hear when there's a foul ball in the dugout: ugly finder. Almost always. It was 100% of the time somebody was going to bark that out.
Because the ball finds ugly. Now the 1-2 to Polanco. In the air to shallow right. Utley is out. And make the catch. And for the Bucks in the top of the 7th. The next University night is for Pitt fans. Next Wednesday, September 30th, the Cardinals are in town. By purchasing tickets online, you can enjoy fellow Pitt fans and alumni for a night at PNC Park, and you'll receive a Pirates cap in Pitt's colors. Tickets start at just $19 to receive your hat. Purchase tickets at pirates.com/Pitt. Starling Marte takes up high. Marte with a home run in the 3rd inning. He's 1 for 3. And not your average run-of-the-mill home run either. 446 feet. One ball and 1 strike. Marte's grounded out twice to Seager, the shortstop. It goes to right center. On the run, Ethier. 2 men out.
And that one too hit pretty good, but not great. Just hung up. Off the bat, looked like it was going to get down, but stayed in the air too long.
Garrett Cole, 89 pitches for him, so he's in pretty good shape right now. After 6 full. Andrew has walked 3 times today and was caught stealing at 3rd base to end the 5th. And what was part of a strike him out, throw him out, Walker, who had struck out for the 3rd time. In fact, Walker and McCutchen having opposite days. Walker struck out 3 times. McCutchen's walked 3 times. Isn't that the way sometimes, though? Go through so many games in a year, you see guys who produce so often, but then have a funny line like that once in a while others are producing.
Some days there's just no explanation for it. It's just maybe it's a matchup thing. Maybe a guy has something you're just not picking up. Can't do anything with.
Breaking ball taken for a strike, and the count is even. Carlos Frias stood up Andrew McCutchen with that pitch.
I think the worst is when you have a big offensive day, score 12, 13, 14, and you're the only one in there with an offer.
There's a ground ball off the glove, and McCutchen will beat it out. It's a base hit. What's even worse than that is when you have a big inning and you make the first and last out.
Yeah, that's never fun. And the little tapper off of McCutchen's bat, he's going to be awarded with a base hit. And I think it's interesting because you go back to that 2nd inning where Garrett Cole hit a bullet back at the starting pitcher Bolsinger that got knocked down, and then he had to chase and kind of flip on the run and flipped it away, and he got an error. I think anybody will tell you, whether you're a hitter or a pitcher, that was a pretty easy play right there that Frias was unable to make. Much more difficult play earlier in the game with Bolsinger.
There's fouling it back. Let's take a look at this tweet that was sent to us here. Hashtag Bucks Booth. Fran Santos in the hall. Why not Aramis Ramirez? Look at the stats. It's from Sir Kentucky. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, there's a lot of those comparables you could make with guys from that era to today.
This ball carrying to right in the corner. Ethier makes the catch right in front of the Pirate bullpen. Seventh inning stretch in Los Angeles. Pirates up 4-2. See, they're coming to Stage AE October 11th. Garrett Cole, what an afternoon so far. There's still some more to go. He's got 9 strikeouts through 6. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Pirates up 4-2 over the Dodgers. Trying to come away with a series victory. It's even at a game apiece. Dodgers, meantime, have won 7 straight series. Pirates hoping to put an end to that streak today. Grandal takes a strike. Yasmani Grandal struck out in the first and then grounded out in the 4th. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ramos Ramirez has left the ball game. Josh Harrison has replaced him at third. 1 ball, 1 strike pitch. And Grandal fouls it back, and Garrett gets ahead 1-2.
That second pitch in the dirt to Cervelli made me think. I don't remember Cole throwing a single pitch in the dirt today. He may have earlier, but the command has been pretty sharp.
And for the most part, it looks like he's been able to put it where he wants to. Gave up the triple. Carl Crawford ambushed him with a triple in the first. First batter he faced. A good pitch right there, and it is called a ball. Cole looks back at Andy Fletcher and says, "What do you mean? Let's take a look." That's way inside the box. Amazing. Amazing. That's not a called strike. Payoff pitch. Popped him up. McCutchen calling for it. And Grandal out anyway.
Comes right at him and ruins a perfectly good bat after popping that one up.
Scott Van Slyke now to face Cole. 1 out. Home half of the 7th. And a strike off of Cervelli. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in the game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Cold drinks important on a day like today.
Oh, I'd say.
And Slyke hits one to center field. Back goes McCutcheon to the wall. He leaps. It's gone. A home run for Van Slyke. And it's 4-3. The 6th home run of the year for Van Slyke.
Breaking ball just didn't get it away enough. Left it in the middle inner half of the plate. And Van Slyke, just enough of that one. Just out of the reach of McCutcheon.
And with Garrett Cole approaching 100 pitches and giving up a home run to Van Slyke, Pirates will get the bullpen going. 1-0. Jock Peterson takes outside. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Jared Hughes, a right-hander. Antonio Bastardo, the lefty, going. A 1-run ball game. The Pirates this year in 1-run games, 33-17.
Garrett Cole does not give up very many home runs on the year. It's just a 10.
I mean, 10 home runs in 30 starts is really good. A strike delivered knee high to Peterson. 97-mile-an-hour fastball.
Coming into this game today, Garrett Cole 2nd in the NL. And fewest homers allowed per 9 innings. And things have been pretty quiet. Cole had retired 11 straight. Cruising. You see there, only Tyson Ross. Fewer homers allowed per 9.
Coming into the game today. And the 2-2. 3-2. Cole's got to get him if he wants to stay in. And this one driven deep to left. Marte back, and he's on the track to make the catch.
That was close. And Jock Peterson, you just never know. I mean, this guy has great power to all fields. So when he does make solid contact and gets it in the air, you have to wonder. And that one I think he just missed, because he certainly has the power to go the other way. Garrett Cole wasn't sure either.
Garrett gets a new baseball from the home plate umpire. He threw the last one out. He wanted one that has some strikes in it. Pitch to Guerrero. That's up high.
As this inning started, Grandal came to the plate and they had to shift on. Harrison was way back and short, and I'm thinking, boy, I hope he doesn't drop down and bunt. You know, most of those big guys won't and aren't capable of it. But you're thinking, when you get this late in the game and you're up or down by 2, that's the ideal time to get a hit, because you need a base runner, obviously, to tie the game with one swing. Thankful that Garrett Cole was able to retire the leadoff batter before the Van Slyke homer.
Well, the Dodgers certainly have something to play for. They haven't clinched the division technically yet. It's just a matter of time for them. But They're playing for home field in the first round of the division series. If the season ended today, they'd play the Mets.
And they would have home field.
There's a bouncer toward Jayhead. He fields it. Goes on the run. One run on the home run by Scott Van Slyke brings the Dodgers a runner closer. Pirates still leading as we go to the 8th. Makes it a 4-3 game, and Garrett Cole getting the hugs from the pitching coach, among others. And that'll be it for him. He had a very solid 7-inning outing today, and he leaves in line for a win.
Job well done. You know, you're out there, you're competing, it's hot, you're sweating. And after 700+ pitches, kind of just relax a little bit. But you talk about a big game pitcher. Garrett Cole is a big game pitcher. The bigger the stakes, I think the better he gets.
And what we've seen throughout his young career, in the month of September, he seems to get tougher. New pitcher for the Dodgers is Jim Johnson, taking over for Carlos Frias. Pitch outside to Neil Walker.
Johnson was closing before coming over here. 10 saves and 17 opportunities, a 4.14 ERA.
And a Neil Walker base hit to the gap in right center. Walker will turn first. He'll head for second. And Neil Walker in with a double. His 31st of the season. It's that classic Neil Walker stroke right there. And the Pirates with a man in scoring position to lead off the inning.
Fastball just above the knee, outer half. And Neil happy to put one in play, a bonus. That he gets
the way his game started.
Yeah.
3 strikeouts and then hammers this one from Johnson.
Yeah, when you get 3 before your 4th at bat, yeah, you're thinking contact first.
Francisco Cervelli looks at a breaking ball for a strike. Cervelli had a base hit, scored a run in the 2nd inning. Tried to bunt his way on in the 4th and was thrown out by the 3rd baseman Guerrero. Made a nice play on him. And he grounded out to first base in the 6th. 1 for 3. Corners are in. And Cervelli gets time.
Have been able to answer. Every time the Dodgers have scored this afternoon, the Pirates answered with a run. Looking to do it again here at the top of the 8th.
Chopper wide to third base. Well, one thing, Rock, to look forward to tomorrow, the Pirates may have another player in uniform.
Yeah.
Neil Huntington telling Greg Brown on the Neil Huntington radio show today. He didn't tell him who it would be, but he did say that there was a player coming up from Indianapolis. They finished their season last night, losing in the finals of the International League Championship Series. There's a grounder to third base. Guerrero checks the runner, now goes on to first. 1 out. You can get on board with the Pirates for next season. The Pirates are now accepting deposits for full and partial season ticket memberships. Get access to exclusive events, the best locations and savings, and customizable memberships too. Plus 2016 full and half season deposits. Receive 2015 postseason access. Go to pirates.com/membership for more information. Sean Rodriguez, first time up. He pinch ran for Pedro Alvarez in the 6th inning. Pedro got on with a base hit. Pedro would finish the day 2 for 3 with a home run. Bucks looking for some insurance now in the 8th. Tony Watson getting up. Watson, Melanson. Great combination. Did the job again last night. 1-1 to Sean. One and one the count. Rodriguez swings and misses. You know that the players are going to be wearing costumes today as kind of a team bonding thing. And I thought that Sean Rodriguez should go as a 1970s cop from the movies. He's already got the costume.
Nice.
Looks like Serpico.
Serpico?
Yeah.
I know some folks call him Cheech.
And Rodriguez down on strikes. Go down to the dugout. Robbie's there.
Well, you guys are talking about the costume trip. How about this one? So a lot of players, it's a superhero theme for the trip. Clint Hurdle let the players pick out his costume. He has absolutely no idea what he's going to wear on this flight from LA to Denver after the ball game. He said he's leaving it in their hands. He's not worried about it. He says, hey, I've had a lot of lower points in my life to be worried about a costume. Plus, every Halloween he goes out with his family, and they do it up big time with their costumes. So Hurdle's wearing one. We don't know. And apparently neither does he. But keep your eyes out on social media, and maybe tomorrow during the ballgame, and we'll show you what he's wearing.
Pitch in for a strike to Mercer. Yeah, they let the cat out of the bag earlier today. He doesn't know yet. But I asked him, I said, do you know what you're wearing? He said, no. I said, okay. Enough said. I won't tell you. No hints. But no hints. We're not supposed to say it. Well, A.J. Burnett is, I wonder what his costume will be. Give your 3 guesses and the first 2 don't count.
No brainer.
0-2 pitch. Jordy takes it upstairs, 1-2. Some of the guys wore him over here today from the hotel. They were walking through the hotel lobby in full costume. And the guy at the plate dressed as the Green Lantern. Johnson's 1-2 pitch. That's down low. Jeff Locke was in costume. Guess what he was?
No brainer.
Robin. And before we leave Dodger Stadium, the team will take a team photo, so you'll get a chance to see it probably somewhere on social media, as Robbie mentioned.
That would be the second time that happened here.
That's right. When Arrieta threw his no-hitter, that was the Cubs' pajama trip. So they all took a team photo in pajamas out on the field after that game. Two and two the count. Walker at second. Johnson's pitch. And Jordy hits a slow ground ball toward Chase Utley. And the Pirates done in the top of the eighth. No runs, hit a man left. Here comes Tony Watson. Sonia with Seether, October 11th at Stage AE. Bottom of the eighth inning, a 4-3 Pirate lead here in Los Angeles. Final game of this three-game set. John Wayner, I'm Tim Nevitt. Robbie's with us too. And Garrett Cole, 7 strong innings, 9 strikeouts, no walks. And here is Tony Watson to pitch the eighth.
Great numbers. 4-1, 2-11, the ERA.
Facing Justin Ruggiano, comes out to pinch hit in the 9 spot. Ruggiano, formerly with the Mariners, and hit just .214 with Seattle. Did a good job upon his arrival here in Los Angeles. He's hitting in the 360s. 1 ball and 1 strike to Ruggiano.
Was it Ruggiano hit the ball out the right field last night against Watson that Polanco made a nice running catch against?
It was in the 8th inning. Outside. 2 balls and a strike.
Hard to tell if the Pirates are in no doubles right now. I mean, Marte deep and left. Andrew about normal in center. Polanco looks to be about straight up.
Strike on the corner. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I'm thinking, I'm not sure if that was a called strike or if I thought I heard a yes he did, as in that was a swing.
Thought he held the swing, but strike either way. That one inside. They count full 3-2. Yeah, that ball Ruggiano hit was off of Watson last night. And Howie Kendrick waiting in the on-deck circle. So Don Mattingly going to the bench here in the 8th. 3-2 pitch. Wait as Watson needs to get reset. Up in the air to short right center. McCutchen calling for it. 1 out. Tony gets the fly out. Here comes Howie Kendrick. Take cover, Robbie. How are you, Doug?
I think it was with Watson on the mound, right?
Yes, it was.
It was. This combination got Robbie struck in the chest with a foul ball last night. So
if you guys need me, I'll be in the corner, okay?
All right.
I'll be hiding in the corner.
Get a helmet. Ball 1 to Kendrick. Kendrick started at second base in last night's game. Looks like he's in the state pen there, doesn't he?
That's what he needs, like a shark cage.
Popped up. McCutchen finds it out of the bright blue Southern California sky, and there are 2 down. Tony has induced 2 flyouts to Andrew.
All good this time.
Second baseman, number 26.
All right, you're in the clear.
Utley.
Tony comes in. Very business-like approach, conducts business, gets the first 2, needs to get Utley here. Oh for 3 today for the veteran second baseman. And a hot shot down to first. And Utley's 0 for 4. A 1-2-3 inning for Tony Watson. Just 9 pitches. And we're on to the 9th inning. 4-3 Bucks. And after today's game, the Pirates continue this road trip as they head for the Mile High City for 4 against the Colorado Rockies. Our coverage begins tomorrow at 8 p.m. with Pirates pregame presented by WB Mason on Root Sports. It'll be veteran right-hander A.J. Burnett pitching against the rookie right-hander John Gray in Game 1 tomorrow from Coors Field. 3 outs still to get here as the Buccos lead this one by a run. Justin Ruggiano on in left field.
31, Michael Morse
stays in the game, and J.P. Howell now will take over. Remember when we first saw J.P. Howell, Rock? It was like watching Thurston Howell because it would take us on a 3-hour tour between pitches.
Oh, yeah. Very deliberate.
But the Dodgers told him to knock it off, and now he has a much shorter routine, more normal. That was a couple of years back. Michael Moore's pinch hitting. Morse hitting in the 9 spot for Watson. It's outside for a ball. Dodger left-hander looking in at Morse. Ready for the 1-1 pitch. To right field, and it gets down for a single. It's another pinch hit for Michael Morse. He is now 10 for 28 as a pinch hitter.
Our pinch hitters have done a pretty good job.
25,
pitch up out over the plate. Seeing Morse go to right an awful lot. Good approach.
Morse will be pinch run for. Jeff Decker will come on and run. Pirates looking for insurance in the 9th.
And that makes him 8 for 18 as a Pirate pinch hitting. 444.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, Morse involved in a trade with the Marlins to the Dodgers. Was technically a Dodger for about 48 hours. Never had to report because they were spinning him off to the Pirates for Jose Tabata. And now Polanco pops this one up and goes in the seats. But you didn't know what you'd get with Michael Morse. Didn't know what kind of role, but he's swinging the bat well enough where he's making a role for himself.
And pretty much playing against lefties or starting against lefties.
No balls, 1 strike to Polanco. 1 for 4 and a base hit. Scored a run in the 5th. Long look by J.P. Howell. Was holding to see if anything was on. Mark Melancon starting his work in the bullpen. Gregory hits a ground ball to Utley. Flip to Seager, 1 out at first base. Not easy to double up Polanco. The ball hit hard enough to Utley. He made a solid throw to Seager.
That's the only reason. I mean, that ball was hit right on the nose, directly in Utley. 4. He's now grounded into 4 ground ball double plays from Polanco. And Howell excited about it.
Pitcher's best friend, the double play, and Howell, after giving up the leadoff hit to Morse, double play helps him out. More action out of the Dodger pen. Burnett and Jeff Locke both pitching in the Rockies series starting tomorrow night. AJ has the ball tomorrow against John Gray. First trip to Colorado this season. And Juan Nicasio will take over for J.P. Howell with 2 outs.
1-3, 346 the earned run average, 49th appearance. Pretty good strikeouts per innings. Keeps it in the ballpark.
Recently had an abdominal strain. Missed some time through mid to late August. But back pitching now. And facing Starling Marte. Ball 1 to Marte. Neither team has scored more than 1 run in any inning. Pirates single runs in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Right through the middle of the game, they built the picket fence. And the Dodgers with runs in the 1st, 2nd, and the 7th.
Looks like Mark Melanson in the bottom of the 9th going to face at least 2 of the 3 hitters he faced last night.
1-1 to Marte. 1-2 now. Another good crowd here today, Rock. 47,000 plus. They've drawn just about 150,000, a little under 150,000 for 3 games.
It's a big ballpark.
There's a base hit for Marte. Second hit of the game for him. 2 for 5 today.
Makes things interesting.
Number
Just
22,
a 1-run ball game. I'm
McCutchen.
sure Don Mattingly doesn't want to see Andrew McCutchen come to the plate here. Those guys do. He doesn't.
Mattingly was probably content to see him walk 3 times. McCutchen with a base hit in the 7th, 1 for 1. Looking to get that average back to 300 again. Throw gets away, and Marte will take off for second base.
That might take the bat out of Andrew McCutchen's hand.
Third error this afternoon for the Dodgers. Second one on a pitcher.
That went right under Starling. I don't know how it missed him. He may have got a little piece of him, but right under the body, and because of the error, Andrew does not get to swing the bat.
Well, they're not happy. A lot of folks came here to see McCutchen swing the bat. They got to see 1 hit. This will be the 4th time he's been walked today. Late in Barry Bonds' career, this used to happen all the time.
Yeah.
That was every day. He'd get walked. Sometimes with the bases loaded.
I think he had over. I know he had over 100 intentional passes in a year. I want to say it was like closer to 2. And that's for Andrew's 12th.
Batting. Third baseman number 5, John.
The only other time McCutchen has walked 4 times in a game, September 1st, 2009 in Cincinnati against the Reds.
Wow.
Andrew will change gloves. And J-Hay comes up for the first time. Chance to add on with 2 outs in the top of the 9th. Harrison, strike 1.
You have to wonder why they change gloves. If they have like padding in the glove, or batting gloves aren't for running.
You know why Starling changed his gloves.
Protect the thumb. So you got to have batting gloves. You got to have your running gloves. They don't look much different than his batting glove, except they're new. A day like today, you'd sweat through them anyway. Thin leather. Two and one to Harrison. Facing Juan Nicasio in the top of the 9th inning. Pirates up 4-3. Two balls, 2 strikes now to J-Hay. Josh came on and played third base in the bottom of the 7th inning. Man he replaced today, Aramis Ramirez, went 2 for 4 with an RBI.
He's a big hit. Anything gets to the outfield will score Marte.
2-2 pitch from Nicasio. Now the count full, and the runners will get a head start. Dodger fans grumbling. Don Mattingly grumbling. Wants to know where that one was.
Let's go! Let's go, Andy! Let's go!
Andy Fletcher's missed a few today, including that one.
Hey, gets a break.
Payoff pitch from Nicasio. There go the runners. And J-Hay hits a ground ball toward the middle. Slowly hits. Seager charging. Throwing safe. And Marte fell asleep between third and home. Starling Marte did not keep running. He assumed there was an out. And that is the end of the inning. Mark Melancon trying to close it. Had himself an infield hit. And Starling Marte apparently thinking this was an out, John, because he just gave up coming around third.
There's good base running and bad base running. Good base running is you go hard all the way from the crack of the bat around third. And on an infield hit, he probably could score. If he goes hard from second all the way around third and keeps going, he might steal a run with really good base running. But you slow up around third, then you slow up after you get past third, and then you make the last out of the inning. I mean, that's bad base running. I mean, we've seen it way too often, the bad base running. But if he's going hard from as soon as this ball's hit, he's around third already. He's halfway home and probably beats a throw if he goes hard the entire way. We talked about this earlier with Francisco Cervelli, who scored the first Pirates run back in the second inning. He was at second base when there was a ground ball that Cole hit off, or a line drive that Cole hit off the pitcher. Now Cervelli came around third. He was running hard. He kind of looked up. He saw that the ball got away, and he was able to score.
Hold on. I can't hear you, Dodger fans.
But in that situation, that's where you could steal a run. When you got somebody like Marte or Polanco or McCutcheon at second base, and there's a ground ball that could go for an infield hit, you go hard. You could sneak one in there. You add an important insurance run for your closer, who's looking now, Melanson, for his 48th save.
Melanson, the Pirates' single season saves leader, set the record last night. Got 3 weak ground balls last night with a save. Seager was one of them, and he takes a strike. And 3 mishits last night by the Dodgers hitters against Melanson.
Good cutter against the lefty. Bears in on. Saws that bat in half.
He's ahead, 0-2.
That pitch ends up a foot, maybe more than a foot off the inside corner. 94. That's as firm as we've seen from Mark Melanson.
Marks 0-2 to Corey Seager. Seager avoids the chase, and it's 1-2.
Talked about the splits last night. Melanson much more effective against left-handed batters than right-handed batters, yet Don Mattingly chose to pinch hit for his right-handed batter Guerrero for Ethier, who, as Tim just mentioned, grounded out weakly.
1-2. And a bouncing ball, foul. The thing about Melanson is he does particularly well against the lefties.
266 the right-handed batters, 136 lefties.
And yet teams continue to send lefties up there against him in the ninth.
You know what else was an interesting move by Don Mattingly last night, as he tried to match up the lefty against the righty Melanson, was when the Dodgers had the bases loaded last night, and Lariano was still on the mound. He chose to use the rookie,
Austin Barnes
to pinch hit when he had Van Slyke on the bench.
It was a ground ball to Mercer. 1 out.
Weekly hit ground ball.
Mark, after the game last night, after he set the club record, picture of his glove, and there's the ball that was used. It's pretty special, though, on the Pirates franchise record. 47 games that he has saved. He passed Mike Williams last night. He was tied with the 46. Williams had the 46 saves in 2002. So 1 out and 2 more to get. Another left-handed hitter, Andre Ethier. Ethier with a base hit in the first inning, had an RBI, and then has struck out twice since. First start for Ethier in this series. Mattingly has a lot of players to choose from in his lineup. Tries to make a good matchup lineup each night, which means Ethier doesn't always play.
That Van Slyke bat, are not using Van Slyke. I mean, there was, he was banged up, had a problem with his hand. We had 5, but obviously if he's in the starting lineup today, he was capable of pinch hitting last night.
And he hit a home run today. 1-1 pitch. Ethier swing and a miss. Melanson right by him at 93. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the Dodgers right fielder. Melanson trying to save this one for Garrett Cole. Cole in line for a 17th win. Pirates hoping to take some momentum into that Colorado series after losing 3 of 4 to the Cubs, and then the first game here to the Dodgers in this series Friday. 2-2 goes to 3-2. Osmani Grandal on deck. 3-2 pitch. And a ball that is hit down the third base side foul. Jammed him.
Just pounding him in. One cutter after another. Got away with it. You see Ethier kick at the dirt. Knows he got a pretty good pitch to hit there. But still, when you have the movement that Melanson has, you don't rack up that many saves by accident. You get that kind of movement and that cut fastball, you'll get away with some mistakes.
Struck him out. Foul tipped it under the glove of Cervelli. 2 Dodgers are out of the bottom of the 9th.
Catcher, number 9.
It took him 8 pitches to get Ethier. Get the fastball. Didn't have much cut to it. Put it by him.
Osmani Grandal today is 0 for 3. Cole struck him out in the first. One of Garrett's 9 strikeout victims. Base is empty, 2 men out. 1-0 to Grandal. Pirates have matched their win total from a season ago already at 88. Looking to go past that today. 2-0 to Grandal.
Now you assume Mark Melanson behind the count has to come in there with a strike, and I doubt he's going to try to trick Grandal. Be his best against the left-handed power hitter's best.
Well, he's inside 3-0. Mark needs to come back. Does not want to put the tying run on. Scott Van Slyke waiting in the on-deck circle. Now the 3-0 from Melanson to Grandal. 3-1. The San Francisco Giants defeated Arizona 5-1 today. And the Nationals now have won as well. They're tied with the Giants for that spot. There's a ground ball towards second. Backhanded by Walker. That's a ball game, and the Pirates take the series. Mark Melanson another save. Garrett Cole another win. And the Pirates take 2 of 3 from the Dodgers. Another 1-run win. 34-17 in 1-run games.
I tell you what, that's just what the doctor ordered. You get Garrett Cole out on the mound and he dominates like we've seen before. The Pirates, again, like you mentioned, the picket fence, they're just busting out 1 run after another for 4 straight innings. Reduced the magic number to 3. Remain just 4 back of the Cardinals. You gain a game on the Cubs. And that's a big, after losing 4 straight, a big series win here in LA.
And now it is on to Colorado and the Rockies for 4. Have to continue to step on the gas pedal here. Pirates win it 4-3 in Los Angeles. Let's go back to our Root Sports studios in Pittsburgh, where Paul Alexander and Kent Tekulve are there.